Good morning, everyone. Isn't it a beautiful day in the nation's capital? I get to look at you. It's beautiful outside, and hasn't this been great? Hasn't this been great? You know, here we are at the finale of the 34th Department of Energy National Science Bowl, a competition like no other. After 5 days of getting lost in the hallways of the National Conference Center, following a schedule that the military would be envious of, and humbly discovering that there are other people as smart or even smarter than you are, in a few hours, you will be hustled off to an airport or to Union Station if you are Theodore Ziotis from Suncrest Middle School in Morgantown, West Virginia, who came here on Amtrak, which was wonderful because he wants to be an engineer one day at Norfolk Southern. Or you might be going into your coach's cars, because if you're here from Maryland or Virginia, the Thomas Jefferson School, or if you're from Greenbelt Middle School or Montgomery Blair, you don't get a plane ride home. You take a ride, or maybe you hop on the metro. And when you get home, you're going to be thinking back to these 5 days and these experiences and the people that you met, and then the reality will really hit. All the free ice cream is gone. All that ice cream, as much as I wanted, whenever I wanted it. Heck, a couple years ago, they even had mango sorbet for the lactose intolerant. So you admit it, you're hooked. Is there a rehab program for kids like me that are hooked on ice cream? You know, all that ice cream was just one of the many rewards that you have earned. The Department of Energy has recognized all of you as some of America's most elite students, which is why they brought you here to the nation's capital, feeding you for 5 days to acknowledge all of your achievements. You are the pride of hometowns across this country, from LA to Lexington to Sugar Land. Many of you today are making history as being the first students ever from your school here at Nationals. We have 14 new high schools and 13 new middle schools. Could you all stand up so we could recognize you and welcome you to the family? You are part of the largest crowd ever in our 34 years. Look at this place. It is filled. 572 students, 162 coaches, 734 people here, a record. There are so many of you, if you look at the list of schools, and I know you've done that, you're seeing double. There are 2 university preps, 2 Fraser schools, high school and middle, 2 Centennials. One from Utah, yeah. The other from Idaho. That's a little lame. Come on, Idaho. Yeah, that's the way to do it. All right, Utah, I give you another chance. Go. There are 2 Davidson Academies. Yeah. 2 basis charters out there. Yeah. And 2, count them, 2 Lakesides, one in Georgia. I heard some boos there. What did you do to these people? And the other Lakeside is from Washington State. All right. You know, we have a lot of first-timers here, but many of you here are veterans of the Science Bowl, having spent a significant part of your middle and high school careers here. Mahir Kurakani, who is from Niskayuna High School, young man says with much regret that this is his last time at the bowl. He has aged out. His dad is actually the coach at Van Antwerp Middle School, but like many of you, Mahir is already preparing the next generation. In his spare time, he teaches math to elementary and middle school students, paying it forward. What all of you are like. You are great kids. You're not just elite schools academically, but you do so much community service. And I loved reading your bios because you detailed all of the things you do. The schools that have been here the longest range from Thomas Jefferson School of Science and Technology. Where are you guys today? They've been here for 29 years. 29 years. Lexington High School, they're here. Lexington has been here for 23 years. They were last year's winner, and their coach, Nick Gould, has been the coach for 18 years. Nick, are you here today? And last year's runner-up, North Hollywood. There they are. They've been with us for 26 years, and notable too is North Hollywood's assistant coach, Len Soloff. He has been with us for all those years. Len has been teaching for over 50 years and has no plans to retire. Len. Len, you are the man. You know, if this is your first time to the nation's capital, and for many of you it is, or even your 25th time, I hope you are in as much awe of what you've seen as I am every time I come into the city. You know, the beauty and majesty of Washington monuments and memorials, they stir the soul. This is an unusual town. It's deceptive in size. I know you went around, you saw the city, and you probably saw the mall. Well, the mall is deceptive because if you start walking from the National History Museum over to the Air and Space Museum, after about 20 minutes, you're not even halfway there. The perspective changes. The city is also a bit smaller than you might have thought. If you go to the White House, you walk inside and the rooms are small compared to what you see on television. And in terms of size, the city does not have skyscrapers, as you may have noticed. The tallest building in the city is the Washington Monument at 555 feet. By city law, no building can be taller. But the tallest habitable building in the city, and as you drove around, you might have seen on the hill something that looked like the Capitol Dome and the Washington Monument, the Basilica of the National Shrine of the Immaculate Conception. Their tower is 329 feet, but because of its elevation at 200 feet, it is just an inch shorter than the Washington Monument, the tallest habitable building. And you know, this wonderful bowl, if you looked at the history, you know the history of it, started back in 1991. And in the intervening 34 years, we've been everywhere here in the DMV. We started out at the National Geographic building over on 16th Street. We went to the 4-H Center on Connecticut Avenue, home of the original ice cream machine. We went to DOE headquarters down on Independence Avenue. And then there's a building here in Washington that looks exactly like the Parthenon. It's called the National Building Museum. We were there for years as well. We were at the old Washington Convention Center that has since been torn down. And for the past few years, we've been lucky enough to have been here at George Washington's Lisner Auditorium. Over those years, it has been a storied history. We've been graced by many notables like NPR's Ira Flatow. He was here. Bill Nye, the science guy, entertained us once. Nobel laureate and Energy Secretary Stephen Chu was here. And most memorably, First Lady Michelle Obama joined us one year. She even asked a couple questions. I regret that we never had a visit, though, from Professor Proton, AKA Bob Newhart, who I thought would have been just terrific here. And as you know and have seen, the job of getting all of you here, keeping you on time, getting you out of bed in the morning, laying down the rules and holding your hand if needed is a Herculean task. What responsibility all of these people here at DOE have. The staff and volunteers here, as you noticed and experienced, are unfailingly hospitable. They often go by with very little sleep at night because they want to make sure this is one of the most memorable times of your life. This is a souvenir experience for everybody. And for many of you, you will come back again and again, and I hope you'll end up like some of our alumni who come back and volunteer every year because it becomes part of their life. It becomes family. Well, because of all that it takes here, it takes, as I said, it's a Herculean task. And while she doesn't look like Hercules, Jan Tyler has as much even though she doesn't look like Hercules, Jan has as much stamina and devotion to her cause as any superhero. Let's thank her again and the whole DOE crew for everything they did for you. Jan was ably assisted by Alan Wash, who was out there, her right-hand man. And when, absolutely, thank you, Alan. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I know when Jan wrote to me this year to ask me to come back, the title of the email said, Bad Penny. Keeps coming back and coming back. Well, I can never say no to Jan. And even though I told her I was retiring this year from my job in Prince George's County, I will come back as many years as she needs me. And Bad Penny, no, she is a gold coin. Jan, you're just the best. You're just the best. And you know, thank you. And saying thanks is important. Gratitude, someone told me once, is the civil in civilization. We have to take time to thank people for things that they have done. And even though it costs nothing, it's something that people will remember. And even though it's something simple, can make their day. On your way out today, if you give someone a fist bump, it's going to mean everything to them because they put so much into this. Talking about gratitude, Kelly Walsh High School. Are you here today from Wyoming? When you read their bios, and I've noticed this year after year, each and every one of the team members thanks Paul Kaska, a man who describes himself as someone who digs science and loves Jesus. But the fact that you take time to thank him for all he has done, I'm sure means an awful lot to him. Luis Cordero, he is a senior from St. John's School in Puerto Rico, wrote in third person, as all of you did, will be such an honor and a privilege to compete at this level, and DOE has done so much for me already. And you know, Coach Randy Krogstad at Bismarck High School. Randy, are you here today with Bismarck High? He wrote last year, and I want to repeat it because it's worth repeating. He is a leukemia survivor whose life was saved by countless caring nurses, doctors, blood donors, and blood marrow donors. And he said, you know, I can't thank these people ever enough for my life. And on another sad but hopeful note, in terms of gratitude, Westminster High School's coach Steve Frappier, who was on Jeopardy for all of 22 minutes, he's very proud of that, says that he would like to dedicate today's tournament to Mr. Gary Jones, the beloved middle school Science Bowl coach at Westminster, who passed away in February. And Steve, thank you for mentioning him, and we are sorry for your loss. Let's talk a little bit about you guys, your bios. Rachel Fang from Whitney High School wrote, and I love what she said, all right, there are 572 of you here, and she said, the fact that someone is actually reading this bio is astounding to me. I love that. Well, you know, Rachel, be assured that all of your stories, all of you bowlers, are carefully read. And none of you here should feel the least bit anonymous. I hope everyone here has felt special over these past 5 days. Is there a common theme reading through all these bios? What do you guys do? Well, you are Minecrafters, you are brawlers, you are LeBron and Bronny fanatics. Did you stay up and watch that game last night? Yeah, LeBron and Bronny fanatics, you are Swifties. Oh. They don't want to admit that, I guess. You are aspiring comedy writers. You are biology haters, huh? And I couldn't believe how many times I saw that you are rock lickers. Who knew geology was so hot? The dirt people, Sheldon Leonard called them. Coach Francisco Reyes of Trans Mountain Early College High School says he enjoys looking at the floor in hopes of finding esoteric rocks. Esoteric rocks. I said erotic because my spell check did that. I said, what is this? I went back and checked esoteric rocks, whatever. Sid Singh, a freshman from Centerville High School, has said, some of you think you are stand-up comics, says he has enjoyed Science Olympiad, Science Bowl, but is waiting to play Science Plate. Ooh. Here's another groaner. Adam Wright of Twin Falls High School ran out of things to write about himself, and he had another 100 words. He said, what am I going to fill this bio with another 100 words? So he said, let me tell you a few jokes. When nuclear power plant operators take the day off, what sign do they put on the door? Gone fission. Oh, that's like a dad joke, isn't it? Yeah. And Henna Lee, she's a senior at Centennial High School in Boise. She's sad to be moving on. This is her last year. She tells us she is a second-generation Korean American who has a 4th-degree black belt in Taekwondo, which means she can probably kick your problems away or at least roundhouse them into submission. We will treat Henna with give her lots of space there. Coach Sachin Parekh of Hopkins Middle School, they've been here 13 years, last year's runner-up. They're still in the competition. The coach used to teach English and also taught in, looks like English and theater, yes. He's an apostate. He kind of got out of science. Well, after reading the bios of his students and getting to know them better this year, he has planned further study in abnormal psychology this summer. Got to figure out a little bit about them. I love giving you guys shout outs. Some of you are shameless. You'll do anything to get me to mention your name or your school. Specifically, Davis Drive Middle School's coach, Shashank Ganaparaju. Yes, sir. He is a UNC student, hopes to apply to medical school. He has been coaching this team for 7 years. And last year, Shashank, he compared me to David Attenborough. He said, flattery will get me everywhere. Let's see if it works. Well, he writes this year, he says, there is no way the awe-inspiring David Zarin can give me back-to-back shout-outs. You're right, Shashank. No way is that going to happen. No way. And if you'll indulge me, just a personal privilege, you heard me mention Prince George's County. I'm retiring from that school system. I've been out there for 51 years. Never in all of our years, 34 years here at the Science Bowl, have we had a school from Prince George's County. Well, this year, Greenbelt Middle School is here. They actually played in our Science Bowl. And guys, would you stand up wherever you are? Coach Pitt, Coach Pagunson, Timothy, Samia, Charles, Augustine, and Patrick. You made history. I can't tell you how proud I am of you and how proud Prince George's County is. Let's go on and just tell you a little bit about your aspirations and accomplishments. James Goodman is here. He's the coach of Eisenhower Middle School. He was here. Where are you, James? And Eisenhower. He was a player here himself, and now he is back as a coach in his 2nd year. And I love this. He says, I live with my wife, 2 dogs, and 6 chickens. And I'm always looking for new recipes for eggs. Rub it in, James. Nobody else has eggs in this country. And there are 2 coaches here, Suresh Avula from Liberty Middle School and Van Antwerp Middle School coach Parag Korkani. They both have 2 sons here competing at the middle school and high school level, so it is all in the family. Nice going, guys. And as far as accomplishments, kudos to Jack Harper. Jack goes to Pullman High School, a school that's been here for 22 years. Jack started a lemonade stand back in 2018 that supports the Make-A-Wish Foundation. He has raised $110,000 for children who have had their wishes fulfilled. He is paying it forward. Jack, wonderful work that you're doing. And I have no doubt, one day we will have a Nobelist, a laureate from all of the people who have been on National Science Bowl. But until then, you are going to be making a difference all along the way. And one of you, certainly one of you that I read about, has already made the world a safer place. Ronith Belisani from Basis Chandler has invented a product called Safe Seat, which prevents hot car tragedies, which really break the heart when babies are left in hot cars. Because of that, Ronith won a congressional app challenge and got to make a presentation before the United States Senate. Ronith, congratulations to you for that. And let me highlight 3 students, where they're going, what their ambition is. Josiah McCormick, University Prep High School, recently received a letter of acceptance to the U.S. Air Force Academy. He hopes to study aerospace engineering, go to flight school, and like Top Gun Tom Cruise, wants to be a fighter pilot. All right, Josiah. Theodore Perlow of Callaway County Middle School wants to become a diplomat or work at one of DOE's very own labs. Are you listening, DOE? Get that boy a contract now. And Arnav Sonon from Basis Chandler High School hopes for a career in medicine, but if that doesn't work out, maybe President of the United States. All right, to finish up here, a few years ago there was a student at Lexington High School who was a real macho guy, full of himself, sold himself really well. He declared himself as a title of testosterone. Well, there were a number of candidates this year. At Lakeside, Georgia High School, there are 3 students, George Zhu, Jerry Fan, and Matthias Riveros, and they are, in order, and I'm quoting, a spectacular individual, an ultra-spectacular individual in the IB program, and the most spectacular individual the moment he was born, and the inventor of the IB program. Nicely played, guys. You would think they would be the winners. No. We have another candidate, Thanesh Sengupta from Mission San Jose High School. A man, he writes, who effortlessly combines rugged good looks with boyish charm to captivate those around him. It is impossible to describe him with a capital H fully with words. He is widely regarded as omniscient, being comparable to LeBron King James himself. Not a winner. Nash comes close, but this year's winner has done the rarest of things. Out there in the Pacific on a beautiful Hawaiian island, Iolani High School's Ryan Ito. He writes, I have accomplished a feat thought to be impossible for someone at NSB. I got a girlfriend. The new titan of testosterone. Let me finish up here. You've been great listening. One thing to leave you with, Coach Karen Staley of Fort Settlement Middle School in Texas. Karen, I love what you wrote. She's been teaching science for 28 years. She's crazy about her job. And she wrote this, and I think all of us have this same feeling. She says, I cannot imagine a world without Science Bowl because it is the most magical experience for kids and adults alike. Amen. Thank you, Karen. Thank you all. All right, it's time to begin. For the past 25 years, National Science Bowl alumni have been invited to come to this event and participate as volunteers. I know you've met many of them. They assist in a variety of tasks. They're competition officials. And most importantly, they serve as role models to the students, you guys, that attend the event. This year, there are 50, count them, 50 alumni in attendance. One of them will be moderating this morning. Another is a judge. Others will be scorekeepers and rules judges throughout the room. At this time, would all of our wonderful alumni stand up so we can recognize you for your service? Alumni. As I said earlier, I hope many of you come back as alumni and join our ranks here as part of the family. We also want to take a moment, as I've been trying to do, is to acknowledge the incredible coaches that go above and beyond, because without them, you're not here. Unless they went forward, unless they offered to give up their time to make you ready for this, this would not happen. Coaches, would you stand up, please? All of our coaches. On to the competition. We started with 48 middle schools and 67 high schools. We're down to the final 2 middle schools. Hopkins Middle School from Fremont, California, who is undefeated in double elimination, and Fort Settlement Middle School from Sugar Land, Texas. 1 loss in double elimination. In the high school competition, we have Montgomery Blair High School from nearby Silver Spring, Maryland, who is undefeated in double elimination, and Lexington High School from Lexington, Massachusetts, with 1 loss. Let's wish all the teams the best of luck. I will now turn this microphone over to our 3 moderators. All of our alums, they have been here for so many years. I am in awe of what they do. Would you please welcome Phelan McGowan, Adam Matthews, and Lieutenant Commander Anna Lauer. Thank you, guys. Did I leave somebody out over there? Who's sitting at the end?
Dean.
Dean, nice to have you with us as well. All right, it's all yours.